Welcome back. Now, when thinking of a dream holiday, a cruise tops the list for many of us. And this morning, we've got advice on hitting the high seas in 2018. Joining us now is travel writer Thomas Bratnock with some top tips to suit every tourist. Good morning to you, Thomas.
Morning. How's it going?
Welcome to our festive set.
Yeah,
we're talking about cruising during the break, and I was saying to you, the perception seems to have been altered over the last few years.
Yeah.
Because I certainly would have had a perception of cruising as fuddy-duddy, kind of an older retirement kind of thing to do.
Absolutely.
Completely not the case anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. I think a lot of people would associate cruises with retirees and honeymooners and like not much in between.
Not much crack.
So now I think a lot of cruises have really upped their game. They're appealing to millennials with design and aspects like that. And that's where a lot of the market is now. And so I think now the market has really broadened, and then especially with Ireland. So this is like major travel breaking news. So, well, that's not breaking news, but as of next year, for the first time, Dublin is going to be used as a port hub as a departure. So we typically fly to Miami or Barcelona to start the cruise, and now you can actually set sail from Dublin. So that's huge news.
That is big news for the Irish tourism industry, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's, you know, we're an island. We have such a maritime history, but we haven't really kind of caught on to the cruising thing in terms of departures.
I think that's going to be a huge advantage, and also make life a bit easier for people wanting to go on cruises, and perhaps people hadn't thought of it before. One thing I would always think of when thinking of a cruise is, would you not get cabin fever? Because you are essentially in the same ship for the week or however long
you are. I guess one thing about a cruise is they're so amazingly decked out nowadays. So Celebrity Cruises, they're the company that are set sailing from Dublin. They've really focused on design. A lot of their new ship, the Edge, it's almost like kind of Miami style condos.
This is the footage we're seeing, yes. Thomas, is it?
Yeah, so they've really upped their game, and as you can see, appealing to younger people and like families, and kind of trying to broaden their spectrum. And one of the things they've done with their rooms is they've developed what they call, we've heard of infinity pools, and now you have infinity rooms. So you can, with the flick of a switch, you can kind of open out your room onto your own personal balcony, and it really feels like you're you on the ocean. There's like an in-out
So where can you go from Dublin then?
So from Dublin, there's a few options. One of them is Iceland. So that's very much an in-destination right now. A lot of people are flying there, but now you can sail there. So, and it's pretty cool. So you leave from Dublin, you spend a night then in Belfast. It takes 2 days to go up to Iceland, which is interesting. So you have one night at sea, and then you arrive in Reykjavik, go along the northern coast. And the cool thing is, on the way back, you hit the Shetland Islands, then Cork, and then back to Dublin. So prices for that start at 1,800 euros per person. But if you think you're saving on flights, you don't have to fly to, Reykjavik or wherever else to begin a cruise. And also meals tend to be inclusive generally.
So it is all inclusive, okay. And drinks?
They have deals, so you have add-on packages. But you spoke about cabin fever. You generally, because the ships are so amazing, you don't really spend. You might not have to spend a lot of time in them. So I often say to people on cruises, people might be worried about having to buy the entry-level room, the interior room where you don't necessarily have a sea view. Why not do that? And then you can save your money for like excursions and cocktail add-ons where needs be or whatever.
And is there a flexibility in terms of when you arrive, let's say in Reykjavik, and you want to explore the city or a place in particular?
Yeah.
Do you need to be back at a certain time? Is there a curfew?
Yeah, I know. You don't want to be like running down the marina.
Tour guide going, get back in the ship.
Hearing the horn go from the foghorns go as you're like frantically trying to get around town. But I guess it varies from city to city. And Reykjavik, in this particular case, you have 2 nights. They also do. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just thinking about what Anna was saying, like missing the cruise back is everyone's worst nightmare.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like being on the school tour and not being on the bus, isn't it?
I mean, Reykjavik is a really small town anyway, so you're not going to get lost there, but they probably give you kind of, a very cautious departure time so you won't mess up.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to the snow cruises.
Yes, okay, so just talking about, hopping on or hopping off. I took a Hurtigruten cruise a couple of years ago, and that's one of the very famous Norwegian cruise that goes through all the fjords. And in that case, I had a beautiful room, but spent little time in it because you have these amazing panoramic decks. I mean, I think that particular vessel has, you know, a hot tub on top, so you can like sit on the deck and like watch the northern lights. And then you get off in towns like Tromsø or Kirkenes, and you can do, you know, husky sledding excursions, or you know, you can snowmobile onto the next town and meet the ship there. And so it's kind of as much or as little as you want to do, so you have the choice, which is kind of
just very briefly before we finish up, Sun and Sand Royal Caribbean is your other option,
Royal
I suppose.
Caribbean. So cruisesforyou.ie are a really great Irish resource and booking agent for cruises, and they have some like really good deals with Royal Caribbean. So I guess what we're seeing here is the more what you might associate with cruises. So this is an Eastern Caribbean cruise, and they have prices for them from €1,579 for 8 nights, and they include flights to Florida, which is a good deal. So I think like cruises are pretty like a premium product. Some of them are more premium than others. So like shop around and you'd be surprised at what kind of like deals you'll get.
You do get to see so much, as you were saying,
You
Tom, as well.
you do. It's amazing, and it's a different kind of
totally different experience.
Yeah. Try it once for sure.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Thomas.
Thanks so much, Tom. You got me convinced anyway.